action, irresponsible action, tends to end with bad results. So, for example, the Brookings Institute, which is a leftist institute, and they've said that if you want to avoid permanent poverty in the United States, you need to do 3 things and only 3 things. And those 3 things are finish high school, don't have a kid before you get married, have a job. That's it. Those 3 things, you will not be permanently poor in the United States, and none of these are above anybody's pay grade. Unless you are legitimately unable to work, there's no reason that you can't. High school in this country is not hard to graduate. Not having a baby before you're married is not hard to do. Just don't put that there without this on it. And you know, getting a job is also not particularly difficult, particularly if it's a manual labor job. Any consistent job in the United States that you work for a long period of time is going to mean that you are not permanently poor in the United States by all statistical measures. Now, if you believe that equality of outcome is the goal, then what you are going to say is, okay, but the people who made the decisions not to do those things, the people who made the decisions not to do those things, they didn't have an equal outcome. That means they were victimized. So sure, it was their choice to put that there without that on it. Sure, it was their choice not to finish high school, to drop out and pursue bad decisions. Sure, it was their choice not to work, but that's because they must have been victimized by a broader society. Because anytime you see somebody who's better off and somebody worse off, then that means that they were victimized by generalized society. So the goal of the left is to rectify all of these imbalances, which, by the way, is immoral, because there should be imbalances associated with the notion that your actions are connected to consequences. It's why President Obama, when he talks about ISIS, what was his solution to ISIS? Anybody remember what was President Obama's solution to ISIS? He said, what's the problem with the people in ISIS? They don't have jobs, correct. If we just give them jobs, if we somehow achieve for them jobs, or if we provide midnight basketball in Damascus, then everything will be solved. And because it comes again back to this idea that the reason that ISIS is so mad is because they're impoverished. And they're not because they make bad decisions, not because they believe evil things, not because they're beheading people in an egregiously terrible part of the world. Gotcha, it's because they're poor. And they're poor because somebody must have victimized them. Well, who's the richest country on earth? The United States, by far. So who's the victimizer? The United States. What's the solution? Minimize the U.S.'s presence on the global stage, minimize our impact on the global stage, and then you will have more equality of outcome, which is in and of itself an inherent good. And that's why you treat good people as pariahs and you treat bad people as heroes. It's why the worst countries on earth get the most sympathy from people on the left. Because when you look at it in any objective way, you say, okay, why is it? There's no reason why anybody on the left would support ISIS, or at least or support negotiations with Iran, which is one of the most egregiously human rights violating regimes on the planet, particularly from the perspective of the left. I mean, they literally hang gay people from cranes in Iran. Gotcha, and yet here you have the left bending over backwards to negotiate with Iran. That only makes sense if you see the left in the context of they want equal outcome, and it doesn't matter that Iran pursues evil policies. Because they don't have equal outcome, by definition, that means they were victimized at some point in the past.
And I ain't going in, it's on with my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. My nigga, my nigga, my